Okay, so in motivation, we have left with this particular topic, that is Porter and Lawler model. So we'll be discussing that. So it is a very short model. So let us just discuss that. So before getting into the Porter and Lawler model, let us understand the basic, why this model has been developed. Basically this is a motivation model. So what is motivation? That we all know, but they have defined in a different manner, that the motivation is the inner state causing an individual to behave in a way that ensure accomplishment of some goal. When managers understand what motivate different individuals, they can better influence their employees to accomplish their organizational objective. Motivation explain why people behave the way they do. That is the fundamental that we have already discussed a lot of time. That is the fundamental concept. Number one is the motivation is the inner state causing an individual to behave in a way that ensure accomplishment of some goal. If they are motivated, the way organized, that is called expected behavior. The consumer, the people would be behaving as per the organizational expectations, and they would be able to fulfill the organizational objective. So managers has to understand what motivate their employees, because different people are getting motivated by different things. So if the managers know what motivate their employees, so it will be easier for them to motivate them to achieve the organizational objective. So ultimate objective is to achieve the organizational objective. That is the fundamental concept. So that is the reason we are trying to motivate the people. So motivation explains why people behave the way they do. So that we need to understand. So we have already understood the concept of the expectancy theory, of Bloom's expectancy theory, Victor Bloom's expectancy theory. So in the Victor Bloom, he has talked about three parameters, that is expectancy, instrumentality, and balance. Now Porter and Lawler, in this model, they have extended this model little bit. More or less, this is an expectancy model like the developed by Bloom. But however, in this model, there is some extension only. So the major concept of the motivation theory of expectancy theory remains the same, but there are some extension on it. So that will be discussed. Like, say for example, ERG theory is an extension of Maslow's theory. Similarly, Porter and Lawler model is basically an extension of expectancy theory, like that. So motivation depends on how much we want something and how likely we are to get it. So what is the assumption behind that? Behavior is determined by a combination of personal and emotional forces. People make decisions about their own behavior in the organization. Different people have different types of needs, desires, and goals. People choose among alternatives of behavior in selecting one that leads to the desired outcome. So basic idea is, assumption is, that means we are assuming the theory is developed based on these four assumptions. What are these assumptions? Number one, behavior is determined by a combination of personal and environmental factor. Not emotional, environmental factor, personal and environmental factor. Based on it, people are developing their own behavior. Number two, people make decision about their own behavior in the organization. That is number two. Number three, different people have different types of needs, desires, and goals. And number four, people choose among alternatives of behavior in selecting one that leads to desired outcome. Right? This is the basic assumption between the expectancy theory. Anyone having any doubt in any assumption, any point? There are 4 points. If anyone having any issue.
Sir, personal and environmental or emotional?
Environmental.
Okay.
Okay. So now the basic, let us come to the basic concept of this theory. So Porter and Lawler used Victor Bloom's expectancy theory as a foundation to develop their expectancy model. So that is clear. So Porter and Lawler model is based on Victor Bloom's theory. So if somebody asks you that what is the basis of the model of Porter and Lawler model, so our answer would be basis is Victor Bloom's expectancy model. Similar to Bloom's theory, Porter and Lawler conducted an individual's motivation to complete a task is concluded that an individual's motivation to complete a task is affected by the reward they expected to receive for completing the task. Same concept. The person will be able to do, want to do, willing to do. It mainly depend on the type of reward that they are supposed to receive. That we are discussing yesterday, right? That Meghna Patel was not got motivated by the increment check or the incentive check, right? Because she was not valuing that reward. So Porter and Lawler also talking about the same thing. That is similar to the Bloom's theory. Porter and Lawler concluded that individuals' motivation to complete a task is affected by the reward they expected to receive for completing the task. Okay. Next one, however, Porter and Lawler introduced additional aspect to the expectancy theory that we have already discussed. Major concept is same based on the Bloom's theory, and Bloom's has concluded, Bloom's also, I mean, like Bloom, they have also concluded that the individual's motivation to complete a task is affected by the reward they expected to receive for completing the task. Okay, but they have included some more points. So let us check what is that exact model is. So major model is same. See, the major model is starting from effort to performance to satisfaction. That is the model. Effort, satisfaction, performance. Now, this effort depend on two traits. Number one, abilities and traits. Number two, role responsibilities. If you can check this, effort is affected by two parts. These 2 points we are discussing later. Let us check these 2 parts. Number one is the abilities and traits, role perception. Anyone can tell what does these 2 points mean? Abilities and traits and role perception.
Ability and traits is mainly about what the employee can do, and role perception in the corporate world, what his role he is performing.
Okay.
What
Anyone
role?
else want to tell anything?
Ability means how much ability to do, how much ability of a person to do any work, and role means how to what was the role to complete the work or anything.
Okay. You know, more or less correct. Abilities and traits means whenever some job would be given to you, first you need to understand whether you are having the ability and characteristics to do the job. Like say, for example, a job has been given to you to conduct an regression analysis in Microsoft Excel. So first you need to understand whether you know regression analysis. Number two, you have to know that whether you can do regression analysis by using Microsoft Excel. Whether you are having the traits. If you don't having that traits, no point of taking the job because you don't know, right? So that's the idea. Like say, for example, there is a difference between HR and HR analytics. Because if you are a very good HR, but if you are not very good in statistics and different kind of HR analytics software, then you cannot become an HR analyst. Because if you are an MBA HR and you have a very good excellent knowledge in HR, and you cannot become an HR analyst until and unless you are good in statistics and you are having very good knowledge in those kind of softwares, HR analytics softwares, the Minitab, SPSS, etc. So if you don't have, then you cannot do it. So for the first thing that you need to understand that whether you are having that abilities and the traits to do the job. Next one is the role perception. Now, role perception means your idea about the role, the job that is given to you, or whether you will be accepting or not. It is based on the role perception. Okay, based on the role perception. There are people, like say for example, I know there are a lot of people who have done their hotel management, but they have not joined any hotel. Rather, they have become something else. They have become a banker because they have done their graduation in hotel management. So they are a graduate degree holder. So ultimately, they have joined bank. They have become a radio jockey. They have become something else other than hotelier. Okay. Now, what is the reason? Reason is one of the major reason is the role perception. because it is not because of the fact that there is no job available in the hotels or not this kind of hospitality industry. There are jobs available. It is not the fact that the salary is not suitable. Salary is also good. I mean, he or she is happy. But the role, as far as the role perception is concerned, probably that person having a role perception that I'll be doing a job of service kind of thing. Maybe, say for example, every hotelier has to start their job. If you are not a chef, you have to start your job like serving the food in the tables, right? So you may be thinking, I mean, people are thinking that no, this kind of role I cannot play, right? Because say for example, if my family member, if my friends, if my other people are coming who known to me, and if they are seeing I'm serving the food, how that looks, so I'm not going to do that. Okay, so there are people like that. I mean, that is called the role perception. That means if the person is not satisfied with the role, then also he may refuse in spite of the fact that there are some good reward, he is able, future good opportunities, there are possibilities. But as the person is not happy, or as he has a different negative role perception, that is the reason he is not accepting the role. So this is also an important factor, that whether that person is happy with the role perception or not. If he is not happy with the role perception, he is not going to be motivated to take up the job. Okay, so that's an important area. So if you are okay with it, now you are able to give the effort. That means you are having the abilities and traits, and you are happy with the role perception. Then you will start performing. So now you are working, you are performing. Now based on now the company, you are getting some reward. Now in the Bloom's theory, he has talked. They have, he has talked only about reward. But in this case, the reward has been divided into two parts: intrinsic reward, extrinsic reward. Now, what does it mean? Intrinsic reward and extrinsic reward. Intrinsic reward means which the internal satisfaction you are getting out of doing that job. That is called intrinsic reward. Extrinsic reward means the externally whatever the thing you are receiving, that is called extrinsic reward. So can you tell me from yesterday's example of Meghna Patel, what was the intrinsic reward and what was the extrinsic reward?
Sir, can you please repeat the intrinsic and extrinsic reward?
Intrinsic reward means that is something very internal. That means the pleasure you are getting out of doing that job, the satisfaction you are getting out of doing that job, that is intrinsic. That means this is nothing, physical thing you are getting. I mean, nobody is giving you a reward like this is a medal, this is a check, like that. Nobody is giving, right? But however, external means something is given to you, that this is a prize. Say for example, they have given you a laptop. Okay, fine, take it. Laptop. Like say for example, now all the IT companies, those who are doing working from home, they are giving them a laptop and a tab and etc. So this is called the extrinsic reward. Okay, this is called extrinsic reward. So this is the difference. So intrinsic means something you feel internally that motivates you, and extrinsic means something you are getting externally. It's a gift has been given to you, right? Something, a gift or something else has been, that is physical in nature. Okay, so that is extrinsic. So now can you tell me from the Meghna Patel issue of yesterday that you have discussed, what can be the intrinsic and what can be the extrinsic?
She was actually not getting any intrinsic reward, as she was in dilemma that whether she should do that or not. And extrinsic was the reward for doing something.
Okay, sorry. My bad. Actually, I just wanted to give that earlier example of this Anjali Sharma, right?
Okay, sir.
Anjali Sharma's example. If you can remember the Anjali Sharma and Rahul
Yes,
Khanna.
sir.
So that example.
Sir, her extrinsic reward was the check of that number of money, and she didn't get any intrinsic reward, as she wanted to get a recognition, but she didn't have that in a way she wanted. So I think her intrinsic reward was incompleted.
Right, very good. That means in that case, that is the monetary check of incentive that has been given to her. That is called the extrinsic reward. However, the intrinsic reward she was expecting, like the recognition, like that. I mean, internal satisfaction probably that was missing. So that's why the motivation failed. So that means we can explain actually that Anjali Sharma's issues from this portal loyal also, because there was a reward, extrinsic reward, but there was no intrinsic reward. So that's why the satisfaction level was less or zero, right? So that is the idea of this thing. So that is the concept of intrinsic reward, extrinsic reward. So combiningly both, that will lead to satisfaction. Now, if the extrinsic and the intrinsic reward are less, or there is no intrinsic or there is no extrinsic reward, so automatically the satisfaction will be zero. Now, there is another concept where, I mean, this satisfaction will also be affected by perceived equity of rewards. That means how you are perceiving or considering the kind of reward that has been given to you. Okay, that
Yes,
the
sir.
kind of reward that has been given to you, what is your perception about it? So that is also affecting the satisfaction. The reward has been given, intrinsic, in case of that Anjali Sharma, reward has been given, but the perceived equity of the rewards was not good. So that's why that is creating a negative satisfaction of the dissatisfaction. Now see, there is an arrow that has gone to value of reward from satisfaction. Okay, so you can see this from satisfaction, there is an arrow that is going to value of reward. So value of reward plays a role here. So that, first you will be asking that what kind of reward. Now, what kind of reward, whether that person is valuing that reward, that is also affecting the effort. If he is not happy with the reward, definitely his effort will be either less, or he or she don't want to give that effort. Okay, similarly, if you can find from the perceived equity, there is an arrow that is coming to perceived effort reward probability, that what kind of effort I am giving and what kind of reward I'll be getting. Okay, what kind of effort I'll be giving and what kind of reward I'll be getting. So that is also affecting our effort. That means if these two factors are very negative in nature, I mean, that is not very good. I mean, value of reward is not good, or the perceived reward, effort reward probability is not good, that will be affecting negatively the effort. That means though abilities and traits are good, roles and responsibilities are also good, but if any of these factors are not positively affecting, then the person may refuse to do the job, or even if he is bound to do the job, his or her effort will be very less, right? So that is the fundamental concept of the Porter and Lowell model. So they have just added few extra things. They have not talked about the expectancy, instrumentality, balance, these terms. Rather, they have used the original term, that is effort, performance, and satisfaction. Reward has been divided into two parts, that is intrinsic reward and extrinsic reward. And the satisfaction is being affected by the perceived equity of the rewards. And there are two factors that is affecting the effort, that is value of the reward and the perceived effort of the reward probability, right? So this is the overall concept of the Porter and Lowell model. So whenever this question will be coming in the time of examination, you have to draw this diagram, they explain it, right? So anyone having any issues in any point?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Fine. Now, some relevance. What is the importance of Porter and Lowell model? The Porter and Lowell theory is a more complete theory because it stresses on what? Number one, intrinsic and extrinsic reward, task requirement and the ability, and perceived fairness of the reward. So that's why some question may come: which theory is better, Bloom's theory or Porter and Lowell theory? So our answer would be Porter and Lowell model, because it is more comprehensive, because it is stressing on both the kind of reward, intrinsic and extrinsic reward. Number two, task requirement and the ability. And number three, perceived fairness of the reward. So three most important parameters they are considering and they have included in their model. So that is why we'll be telling that this Porter and Lowell model is a better model, or is a comprehensive model, right? So that is the fundamental concept, right? So you can expect a separate question from me Porter and Lawler model, and all the part you can get like the Maslow's theory, Adberg theory, and etc. But sometimes this Porter and Lawler model is considered as a higher level of theory. So that's why you may get a, as far as the marks is concerned, maybe better. Like say for example, if Maslow's theory they are giving 5 marks, for Porter and Lawler model maybe they will be giving 8 marks or 10 marks. So that's why. So that's why you need to draw the diagram and explain in a little bit more manner. And every theory, every motivational theory, you need to draw the diagram. Mandatory. I mean, diagram is mandatory for all the theory. You need to draw the diagram, and then only you need to explain, right? Or if sometime there the question may come that which is the most scientific theory or comprehensive theory. So then also you can talk about this theory. That there are a lot of theory. You will be naming some of the theories in the Maslow's, Hertzberg, McClellan, etc., etc. But however, according to me, one of the most comprehensive theory is the Porter and Lawler model. Then you can draw on that model actually, right? So that is the idea. Okay, so we have discussed about the job characteristics model, right? In our last class.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. So that means our motivation part is more or less over. So today we'll be starting with one more topic that is called fine. So do you know that before the Durga Puja you will be having one exam?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Probably tomorrow. You know, all the subjects questions. I mean, all the subjects. I mean, all the 6 subject examination will be there tomorrow, and it is a mandatory. I mean,
So what about the new students?
I don't know. I mean, you have to give the exam.
But sir, there are a lot of things which we don't know and we are not understanding. Even the notes are not yet shared with us. Like a lot of notes are missing.
Actually, sir, hello. We are
Yes.
already submitting our assignments.
Okay.
In this week.
Yes, sir. We didn't get
Yeah, but
time to-
assignment and examination are different, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, they're different, but sir, my name is Rima. I have just as I informed, like some of us just joined recently, so we don't know about assignments and what is the exam subjects. I mean, what should we write? We don't know anything. Most of the thing.
Okay.
Exactly,
So,
sir. We
if-
don't even have
Sir,
the notes.
About
it is
everything.
it is too difficult for us to complete assignments and at the same time prepare for examination.
Okay.
Because we don't have that particular knowledge about this subject, because we didn't attend those previous class. We are not informed about anything.
So how do you feel right now? I mean, if there is really an examination tomorrow.
Shocked
Yes,
and
sir.
confused.
Sir, I was really afraid.
Okay, can you just check your palm little bit? Is there any sweat?
No, no, sir.
It's cold.
Cold little bit?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Basically, today we'll be discussing about stress. So that's why I just wanted to give you some stress. But there is no exam. Don't worry about it.
So you got us good one.
Sir, you just said suddenly, and I was like, really? There is no syllabus, like what to write and say.
Right. So it happens. I mean, whenever you will be falling under stress, so your reactions pattern, your behavior pattern would change, right? I mean, there are some physical behavior. There would be some, physical reactions to the behavior would be there, and there would be some behavioral pattern. Normal, behavior pattern would be changed. Number one is the physical reactions. That will be like, say, for example, your palm will get cold little bit, and you'll be maybe sometimes those who are very nervous, their heartbeat would be increasing little bit. That what will happen. And there are different things that will happen physically, that is very physical in nature, and something that will happen in your behavior, right? Say for example, I can remember one example from my school days. One of my friend was very afraid of mathematics, very afraid. So there was an examination that is going on now. We have seen the question. That is a very toughest question we have seen ever. So that kind of question. So by seeing the question, that that my friend actually got senseless. Okay, so he was so nervous. I mean, we all of us got nervous. I mean, because they're very tough questions. Because we don't know. We are rest assured that we are not going to pass the exam. Because these are very tough questions. But that person got nervous. I mean, they got senseless actually. So his ability to withstand the stress was very less, right? So the stress will happen definitely, but how we are handling the stress, that we need to check. And for that, we need to understand what are the reactions, how we can understand that we are having reactions. I mean, the stress. So there are different parts that we'll be discussing. Okay, whenever I have talked about that examination, probably 2-3% have left. Okay, probably 1% have left. So please tell them. I mean, there is no examination. This is just for an example. Okay, so this is stress. So what are the how we can understand that some people are having stress, like the teeth grinding. আমরা যেটাকে বাংলায় বলি দাঁত কিরমির করা. Those people are having this tendency of teeth grinding are actually under stress. Okay, so teeth grinding may happen subconsciously. They even don't understand they are doing that. So if you are already grind your teeth, stress could make the problem worse. It may happen during the day or the night and is seen in the children mainly, but it does not mean it is happening only on the children. It may happen in the adults also. So the teeth grinding is one of the characteristics of the stress. So if anybody is having a habit of teeth grinding and then falling under stress, then that it will worse. I mean, that intensity of the teeth grinding will be much higher, right? So one of the characteristics is this teeth grinding. Next one is the hair pulling. Okay, so people are having repeatedly pull their hair out of the scalp, eyebrows, mainly hair we are talking about. The head we are talking about. The condition is troublesome and may lead to bladness in the latter life. So that is another characteristic. They used to do that. Next is the tremors and the nervous tics. So tremors or the nervous tics may occur to get aggravated. Tremors include the hand shaking, probably. Whether you have noticed or not, whether you have faced or not, I don't know. If you are on stage somehow for performing, for giving a speech or anything, at the beginning, if you are having mic in your hand, you will be feeling this situation if you are nervous, because your hand will be shivering. Okay, so tremors include hand shaking while holding a glass. You can give that example, holding a mic in the stage. I mean, first time you are on the stage and you are anchoring, or you are doing something, performing, you may have this tendency. That is this tremors. So while a tic could be an excessive winking of the eye. So there are two things. Number one can be a shaking, tremors. So there are two things, tremors and the nervous tics. How we can understand? Number one, if somebody is shaking their hand, they are having tremors. And another part is the winking of the eye. I mean, frequently winking of the eyes jodi hoy, then also there is a stress, right? So there are two parts. So tremors and the nervous tics. Next one is the eating disorder. So this is a major issue, that is eating disorder, because if you are under stress, then two kind of consequences may there. Either you will be starting overeating or very less eating. You are not eating at all, or you are excessively eating. Okay, both the things is a sign of stress. Okay, so that means stress may lead to overeating or undereating as a coping mechanism, because some people think if they are keeping themselves busy in eating multiple times, that will relieve their stress. And overeating may cause, of course, obesity, belching, that is acidity and etc., and feeling of fullness, while under eating may contribute to acidity. That is also a possibility, right? So that's the thing. If you can see these pictures that is happening, that is exercise, because they are getting so much stress that they will be getting obese. So they are continuously doing exercise. Then they are having preoccupation with feeling fat, though they are not fat, but they are having a feeling occupation they are fat. Okay, abnormal electrolyte level. I mean, you are having a lot of sweating. Intense fear of gaining weight. So you are very much cautious at the time of having food that you may gain weight. But on the other hand, the next point is unusually a large intake of food. Okay, and anxiety around avoidance of the eating. So these are the things that is, so eating disorder is one of the major consequences of stress. So if you find somebody, or if you are having this kind of thing, either you are overeating, started overeating, or you are undereating, so then you need to understand that you are under stress, because people having the problem that they are not able to understand they are under stress. So that create the problem, right? That create the problem. Okay, have I given you the quiz for understanding whether you are under stress or not?
No, sir.
Okay, that
No,
I'll be
sir.
sharing, that you can actually check that what is the level of your stress right now, so that you can because if you are under, certain, if you can cross, if you actually cross certain level of stress, that is very harmful for your body. So that is the reason we need to understand our level of stress, and we need to take action accordingly. Otherwise, it is not only behavior, it affects your health a lot of time. Okay, next one is the clumsiness, because those people who are very clumsy, like the picture they pick, that that the tea has been spilled off in your table and you are least bothered, right? You are working in the same place. So that means these people under stress. Okay, these people is under stress. Now clumsiness may be an indicator of how stressed the person is. Utensils may be dropped, tea may be spilled, and if the person is ticked it off by others, and the behavior may worsen. That means if somebody is telling, how can you live like this, I mean, there is a spilled off, you have not changed the utensils and etc., then the situation will be worsened. They will still continue to do that. Okay, so they need to be counseled that you cannot do that, why you are doing this, right? Now some people are having this habit, not doing anything of their own, they are depending on others. That's a separate, they are not under stress, but they are not doing anything because they are not habituated to do something of their own, so they are depending on others. So that's why they are just having the tea and keeping the particular cup and the plate and etc. just in the bed itself. So if he or she is waiting, somebody else will be coming and taking that. So it is not a stress, it is a behavior pattern. But if you are staying alone, or if you are, say for example, if you understand this by observing their office desk, if the office desk is clumsy, because in office nobody is going to help you out to arrange your desk. So if your office desk is not arranged, so you need to understand that particular person is under stress, right? So but you need to counsel them. You cannot just tell that why your desk is very clumsy, change it, arrange it. They will not do it. They will not do it. Rather it will increase that situation, I mean intensify the situation. So that is the reason you need to counsel them. Probably they can understand that, right? So that is the clumsiness. So clumsiness is also a characteristics of stress. Unhygienic routine, because when the people are under stress, then they tend to follow, or tend not to follow the normal rule, like the 2 times you need to go for doing brush, toothbrush, etc. So they used to unfollow that. I mean, they have to avoid that. So that is the condition, that is unhygienic routine, also a characteristics of this thing. Next one is very important, that is called the social withdrawal. When people are withdrawing themselves from the society, they are not meeting anyone, they are not going to any social gathering. If you can see the picture, there is a gathering, the person is out of the gathering. So that means they are under stress. It is not intentional. I mean, it is not intentional that I don't want to be a part of the group, but rather they cannot get into the group, or they are not mentally feeling to be a part of this group, right? So if mood is negatively affected, the person may lose interest in meeting friends, attending functions like the parties and the wedding. The person may cut off the people close to him and become a social recluse, right? Okay. So that's the idea, that is called the social withdrawal, is also a symptom. Next one is the impulse buying. Any idea what is impulse buying? It is basically a marketing terminology, but it is a characteristics of stress. Anyone can give an idea?
So, which we say, retail therapy. There are people who are very stressed, so they go and randomly buy stuffs just to calm themselves, to keep themselves busy.
Right, very good. In marketing terminology, any idea what is impulse buying?
Shopaholic?
Not shopaholic. Basically, what is happening in marketing? Some products are there, we are purchasing without any planning. That is called impulse buying. Say, for example, we are waiting for train in the railway station, and the train is late. We are just waiting. So that is the reason we are purchasing some magazine to pass the time. We did not have a plan to purchase magazine, but we have purchased. Suddenly, we have seen that some people are having. We are just walking through road, and it is really hot, and I found that there is an ice cream parlor. So I just entered and have an ice cream. We did not have a plan, right? So whenever, without any planning, some people are purchasing something, that is called the impulse buying. However, in this case of organizational behavior, this related to stress, the right example is the retail therapy kind of thing. Even if you do not have to go to any shopping mall or etc. to purchase, you can purchase to online. The people, when they are they are very much stressed, they start purchasing. They get into Amazon and find some material, and if they like or don't like whatever they purchase, they just wanted to relieve their stress by purchasing something, because they are thinking, okay, fine, these goods I have purchased, these goods will be coming, okay, fine, within 3 days I'll be getting. So they are trying to distract their mind to that particular area, so that they can reduce the stress. So that is a coping mechanism. Okay, so if somebody is very much involved into it, that is impulse buying, so then you need to understand they are under stress. So retail therapy can be a different thing, but if you find somebody is very much involved in this kind of impulse buying, you need to take action, because he is under stress or she is under stress. You need to do something on that. Okay, so that's the thing. So that is called impulse buying. Now, the impact of stress on the performance. Now, this is very important and interesting. So what do you think? That is, what is the relationship between pressure and stress? Any idea? What is the relationship between pressure and stress? Is it synonymous? I mean, more pressure means more stress, like that?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Pressure is universal, but stress may vary to person.
Say, for example, there is no stress. I mean, there is no pressure. Will that create stress?
Yes, sir. Some people also get stressed because of having too much of no work time. Like if I'm having no work, there are some people, if they are having no work for a long time, they also
Right.
get stressed.
Right, very good. Like, say, for example, you got stressed when I have told there is an examination tomorrow. Right? Now, if the situation is there is no examination ever, then you don't have to worry. There is no examination, no assignment, no classes, nothing. So that also will create stress, because you will be thinking that those other friends who are doing MBA, they are having lot of assignment, lot of project, lot of internship, everything, examination, or everybody is discussing about their examination, how to prepare for the presentation, how to do that assignment. So if that is not there, that also will create stress. Okay, so similarly, the example that you have given, if there is no work, the people are getting stressed, because they have to, they are thinking that what will happen if there is no work. They are coming, that happen actually. Probably, in the IT companies, there is a concept of bench work, bench employees. Any idea who is a bench employee?
So bench employees are put on hold. They are not. They are paid the salary, but they are put on hold because there is no work, or maybe the process has not yet started. So that is the reason they don't have to go office, or they just have to go office, put the attendance, do the admin, whatever formalities they have to do, and they have to come back home.
Right, very good. That means no project has been assigned. They are getting salary, but no project has been assigned. But in most of the cases, they have to go to office. They will be, spending time by, Facebook, WhatsApp, like that, spending time in the canteen, like that. I mean, they're just spending time and coming back. But if it continues for a long period of time, automatically people falling under stress, because they can understand this cannot continue for a long period of time. Because earlier, most of the companies used to have a 2 months to 3 months bench period tolerance. But now that has been reduced to 1 month. If the company is not able to give you a job or project within 45 days, 30 days to 45 days, automatically the HR will tell you to leave. So you can understand that if this project, I mean, bench period continues for a long period of time, you will be ultimately you will be losing the job. Okay, so automatically that will create stress. So that is the idea. So if there is no work also, that will create stress. Number one. Number two is maybe it is a stable organization. There is no concept of termination and etc. But you are not having any job. You will be feeling frustrated, right? So that's the thing. So there is a minimum amount of pressure that is called the optimum pressure. Minimum pressure creates stress. Maximum pressure creates stress. So a minimum amount of optimum amount of pressure that is required. You can see in the picture the green zone, the dark green zone actually. You can find that is called optimum performance. This optimum performance will be coming with the optimum level of pressure. You can understand the pressure in the, if you can see the x-axis, in the pressure there is a moderate level to high level. In between is called the optimum level. So at the optimum level of pressure, the people is having optimum level of performance. If the pressure is low, you can understand the performance is also low. I mean, these people are not able to perform. This is a red zone. Then the pressure is increasing gradually. Performance is also increasing gradually, right? Now there is a from low to now they have got into the moderate level of pressure. That means the stress is at or performance is at comfortable level, ideal zone. Then your pressure further you are increasing the pressure, then your performance is at maximum, optimal performance. That is the maximum performance. Now, if the pressure is further increased beyond that moderate level, I mean optimum level, then the performance will start falling. If you can see this, this is the performance will start falling. Okay, so after a certain limit, if you are increasing the pressure, that will lead to burnout, and ultimately you would not be able to perform, right? Say for example, a salesperson who is very good in achieving target, whatever the target you are giving, they will achieve. Like say for example, you have given 100 unit sales per day, he is achieving. So the company is thinking, fine, let us increase to 120. Now 120 he is also achieving per day. Now company have thought, okay, he can achieve anything, so let us give 140. He is achieving 140. Now again the company thinks, okay, let us give 180. Now when they have given 180, now he is under, I mean, a huge pressure. Now it is not also possible for him. So now what is happening, as the 180 has been given, now the actual output comes to 80. He forget about, so usually when 140 was there, he was achieving 140. Now when the target has been given 180, now he is able to achieve only 80 because he is under so stress that his productivity has been reduced, right? So that is why it is very important to understand what is the amount of pressure that needs to be given, because that pressure has a direct link with the performance. If there is less amount of pressure, there is a less performance. If it is a huge amount of pressure, more high and higher level of pressure, then also the performance will be negatively affected. So you need to understand what is the optimum level of pressure that should be maintained, so the performance should be at the peak level, right? So that is the concept of relationship between the stress and the performance, right? Any confusion anyone having? Stress and the performance?
No, sir.
Sir, what is zone of delusion? In the PPT it is written.
Okay, zone of delusion means this is the area, na? This area where your performance is negatively affected, because this area we are calling it an ideal zone, because this area is the perfect zone for the employee, perfect zone for the company. But this area, zone of delusion, means your performance is getting reduced, like you are under strain and then followed by burnout, right? So this area it called the zone of delusion. That means your performance is getting reduced in this particular part.
Okay,
Okay.
sir.
Now, as we have discussed, impact of stress on the personality, we have discussed that definitely, if you can remember, type A personality, always under stress. Can anyone tell me what are the characteristics of type A? For the others, those who have attended, not, I'm not in the class actually. Yeah, tell me.
They are always competitive. They always try to
Work obsessed and aggressive and very impatient. They are.
yes, sir. So, as they are always competing and trying to go in fast pace, so they are always in a stress, like how to do and how fast we can do.
Right, very good. That means the basic characteristics of the type A is they want to complete the job before time. So whatever the time has been given to them, they want to complete the job before time, and that is the reason. One of the reason they are always under stress, and that is the reason. Like if you can see these characteristics left hand side, they are very much impatient. They cannot stand in the queue. They always very competitive. They are work obsessed. They always want to work. They are achievement oriented. They want success. They cannot enjoy the game actually. They always want to win. If they can't win, they don't win, they can't enjoy. They cannot enjoy the game actually, right? They are very much aggressive, and that is the reason they are always under stress. So there is a direct linkage between the stress and the personality. So this type A personality is always under stress. So stress prone personality is a type A because the time urgency or the rushed lifestyle, aggressive, hostile, easily angered, uh, hard driving, unable to relax, cynical, not generally anxious, and multitasking. Two things at a time. Probably, if you can remember, we have given that example. This person usually, whenever they are eating, they are reading newspaper or reading books. Whenever they are watching television, they are having their lunch or having food. So they want to do two things together. They don't want to waste time, right? So that is the reason they always under stress or the pressure. So that is so if the question is impact of stress on personality, you can give this type A personality. There are other personality also, but generally this type A personality is always under stress. So you can give that example. Next one is the codependency. This is also related to personality. Codependent personality, if you are having, there are people like who are perfectionist, super overachievers, crisis managers, devoted loyalist, self-sacrificing and willing victim, and victims like. So from these characteristics, can you identify which kind of personality type is this? From the personality types we have studied actually.
Sir, C.
Okay,
Sir,
very
A.
good.
B. No B.
Type A, sir.
So C.
Okay. Anything else? সবই মোটামুটি বলে দিয়েছো এ বি সি হয়ে গেছে আর ডিটা
দুটাই
বলে দাও
বাকি।
A. B. B. B.
Basically this is type C. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Type C. Because who are the type C people? Type C people are very much people pleasing personality. They want to please everybody else. They want to hide their own emotions, especially the negative emotions. Okay. If somebody and they are very loyal, if they are committing something, they are going to do that. Okay, whatever happens, they are going to do that. Okay, so they can self-sacrifice. They can play the role of victims. That yes, for them, I have not been able to do that. Right. So that is the idea. So that is why this codependent personality also, they can fall under stress because they are hiding their own emotions. Even they are not liking something, they are telling yes, I'm liking with a smiling face. They are trying to do. So externally they are fit and fine, everything is fine. But internally their turmoil level is very high. Internally they are not at all happy, they are unhappy. Okay, so that's why they are hiding their emotions. So that is the reason that will be creating stress. So this kind of characteristics is called the codependent personality. So it is basically type C personality, right?
Yes, sir.
Next one is that this is very important and interesting. Response to stress. There are three different kind of response. Number one is the F, fight, flight, or freeze. Okay, fight, flight, or freeze. That means you can fight with the stress, Like say for example, you are walking through a road and you are suddenly realizing a dog is barking, and probably that is coming towards you. You are not able to see, but that is probably that is coming towards you. So what you can do in that particular situation? Number one is fight. That fine. Ultimately, I can fight with that dog. Let's see what will happen. Number two is flight. Let's go somewhere else. Okay, I'm not going to stay here. So that is flight. Freeze means stay there. The dog will come and go. Right. So that is called the freeze. So that is called fight, flight, and freeze. This is the common response to stress. 3F model of response. So the fight, flight, freeze response in your body's natural reaction to danger. It's a type of stress response that helps you to react to the perceived threats, like an oncoming car or the growling dog, right? So that's the thing, right? Whenever you are crossing the road, you are finding some a high-speed car is coming. Okay, so you can move. You want to fight. You cannot fight with the car, but that kind of situation actually, so that you will be stopping the car like that. And freeze is you are just standing very confused, and you are expecting that the car will cross without hitting you, right? So that is the kind of situation the people are having. That is the fight, flight, and freeze. So you can expect this question. Describe the model of fight, flight, and freeze. Then you can give an example and tell what does it mean. You can get into the conflict and fight with the situation. Flight, you can move out, or the freeze. Now, how your body responds to stress. So these are the common certain things like the heart rate. Definitely your heart rate would be increased. Lungs, your breathing speed up and deliver more oxygen to your blood. In the freeze response, you might hold your breath and restrict breathing. That is happening. এটা হয় দেখবে যে আমরা যখন স্ট্রেসের মধ্যে পড়ি, sometime we are just trying to hold our breath. Okay, আমরা ভাবি যে নিঃশ্বাস বন্ধ করে থাকলে সিচুয়েশনটা পেরিয়ে যাবে. So that happens. Eyes, that is your peripheral vision increases so that you can notice your surrounding. Your pupils dilate and let in more light, which helps you see better. Right? Stressের মধ্যে পড়লে আয়ের কিন্তু মানে আমাদের দেখার ক্ষমতাটা অনেকটা বেড়ে যায়. And that same thing happened to our ear also. That is your perk up and your hearing becomes sharper. মানে আমরা কিন্তু বোঝার চেষ্টা করি কুকুরটা কি চলে গেছে দূরে, এবার মনে হচ্ছে কুকুরটা অনেক দূরে চলে গেছে, আস্তে আস্তে আওয়াজটা কম আসছে. So that means I can go like that. So our ears are also very sharper হয়ে যায় স্ট্রেসের মধ্যে. Blood get thickens, which increases clotting factors. This prepares your body for injury. So that is a problem. So stress level কমাতে বলে, তাহলে কি হয় যে আমাদের blood কিন্তু clot হয়ে যেতে পারে. Okay, so that will create problem. So that is called blood thickens. Your skin produce more sweat or get cold. You may look pale or have goosebumps. So that's happened. Hands and the feet, same thing. As blood flow increases to your major muscles, your hands and feet might get cold. Last one is a very important, pain perception. Fight or flight temporarily reduce your perception of pain because you will be not thinking about the pain at that point. If you're having a pain, huge pain, intense pain, but if you're falling under a stressful situation, then you will not be thinking about the pain. So that's why your pain perception will be reduced at that point of time, right? So that is the concept of that is the stress. It depends on the physical stress, physical condition, and the stress level condition, that also matter. If you're but opposite can also do. I mean, if you are having a very high physical issues, then probably you can overcome some of the stressful situation also. Like probably in the last February, actually, I was going to Bangalore. So I was having huge acidity. I don't know how that happened, but huge acidity. So I was started vomiting after onboarding the plane. So continuously I have to go to the washroom for vomiting. And now that was a very bad weather condition, and that there was a huge turbulence, and the airplane was shaking like anything, and everybody got scared. That is probably that plane will crash kind of thing. Everybody was very scared. Even the air hostess and everything was sitting. They are not also moving, and they are continuously requesting that everybody tighten your seatbelt and sit. But I was the only person that I was totally ignorant about that particular turbulence, because I am also scared of turbulence, but I have realized that particular situation, as I was having huge acidity and the vomiting continuously, I was not actually bothered about those kind of turbulence. And everybody was scared, whenever, even during the turbulence periods, I was just moving out, removing my seatbelt and going to the washroom. And all the air hostess are telling the no, sir, please don't go. There is a turbulence that is going on. Even my co-passenger are telling that I have told that no, I don't have any option. I have to go. Right, I'm having this acidity. So I have actually totally ignored. I have not felt that stress of that turbulence because I am having so much problem in my body. Right, so that may also happen. I have felt that opposite thing. Now, sometimes that happen due to the stress, you are forgetting your pain. But this has also happened. That is because of the physical issues. You have not probably that fall under the stressful situation. Everybody else, felt that stress of the turbulence and the shaking of the plane. But however, I have not been able to understand because of the physical problem. Right. So that may happen actually. That may also happen. Okay. So that's the thing. So that is all about stress, effects of stress that we have discussed. There is the causes of stress, what are the consequences of stress, and how to overcome the stress. That we'll be discussing in our next classes. So that's it. So I'll be sending this thing, go through it, and I'll be sending this question also, so that you can check your present stress level. And the stress level is high, then you can take action accordingly. Right. So any question anyone having?
Sir, when will our puja vacation start?
Actually, that the NG sir will be informing. Probably by tomorrow or day after tomorrow, maybe. I don't know exactly. So sir will tell.
Okay, sir.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.